Next section is Muslims. So just read the next part. Limits of civil disobedience movement. First section we have seen. Listen very carefully. You have to answer me.
Some of the Muslim political organizations in India were also lukewarm in their response to the civil disobedience.
Okay, this statement will be coming. That is, why was the response of Muslims were lukewarm?
After the decline of the after the decline of non-cooperation Khilafat movement, a large section of Muslims felt alienated from the Congress. From the mid-1920s, the Congress came to be more visibly associated with overtly Hindu religious nationalist groups like the Hindu Mahasabha. As relations between Hindus and Muslims worsened, each communities organized religious processions with militant fervor, provoking Hindu-Muslim communal clashes and riots in various cities. Every riot weakens and peace stands a distance between the two communities.
Yes. Okay. So, why the attitude or that relations of that Muslims and the Hindus strained? Why that movement was lukewarm in the later stage? Strained, loosened, and not very active. Muslims were not supporting actively in the Indian national. Okay, can anyone try? Why the relation strained? Okay, Muhammad Ali. Can anyone try? I'm not telling you to answer this one. Try.
Because maybe after the moment which took place, the Khilafat movement took place, they after that the Congress didn't give much attention to the Muslim League, and they were now focusing much more on Hindus and not even Muslims. The Hindu Mahasabha which was formed, that's why they were feeling bad.
Okay. Not the risk. See, earlier from 1905 onwards, if you are taking, they worked together very actively. 1905, what was that? The partition of Bengal had taken place. So they actively participated. There was no differentiation between the Hindus and Muslims. And later on, Hindu Mahasabha was formed in 1915. After Muslim League was formed in 1906 end. So then when Hindu Mahasabha was formed, it was formed as a Hindu organization and created a kind of difference between or separatist movement between the Hindus and Muslims. Though Mahatma Gandhi tried his best to unite them through the Khilafat non-cooperation movement, its failure created a kind of confusion and misunderstanding among the Muslim community. Whenever they tried to come to get the support of the Indian National Congress, it was dominated by the Hindu leaders, the upper caste Hindu leaders. They were not ready to accept this Muslims. So many occasions they showed it. That is why they started demanding for a separate state for them. They were not one, they were two, like that. That is, India is not a single country. Consists of two countries. That is called the two-nation theory. So Muslims began to demand for separate nation. So understood the reason. So that is after the formation of Hindu Mahasabha and Indian National Congress was dominated by the upper class Hindus. So there was a policy of segregation. Hmm? Got it? Okay. Now you continue.
The Congress and the Muslim League made
Are you able to hear?
renegotiate an alliance, and in 1927 it appeared that such a unity could be formed. The important differences were over the question of representation in the future assemblies that were to be elected. Muhammad Ali Jinnah, one of the leaders of the Muslim League, was willing to give up the demand for separate electorates if Muslims were assured reserved seats in the Central Assembly and representation in proportion to population in the Muslim-dominated provinces Bengal and Punjab. Negotiations over the question of representation continued, but all hope of resolving the issue at the All Parties Conference in 1928 disappeared when M.R. Jayakar of the Hindu Mahasabha strongly opposed efforts at compromise.
Yes, yes. Now, here, what happened, even though they were working separately, there were negotiations going on. Some negotiations were reaching to that point that regarding the reservations in the areas where they are majority. Reservations in which all areas they were demanding. One was Punjab and Bengal. We know that the present day that Bangladesh was Muslim majority area, and Punjab, the northwestern frontier province, also included in that Punjab. So all these areas where the Muslims are majority, they were demanding separate electorate for Muslims. So Congress have reached all party meeting. Congress also have agreed to a certain extent, but one particular person, M.R. Jayakar, was a prominent person from the Hindu Mahasabha, objected it. Then from that time onwards, they started working separately, and in 1940, first time they started demanding the two-nation theory. Otherwise, India would not have been divided. They were ready to accept that region-wise condition, that is reservations. But because of the domination, because of that irresponsible attitude of the persons, they started demanding for a separate state. That is called the two-nation theory. We know that the prominent leaders, one of the most important leader who is considered as the father of Pakistan, Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he belonged to Mumbai. So, from that area, he was very much interested to be the part and parcel of India. But because of that irreconcilable attitude of the Hindu Mahasabha leaders, made them to separate. Clear? Why it was lukewarm? Lukewarm, what is lukewarm? Neither too hot nor too cold. That is in the middle. That is the participation was very much negligible only. That is what. Clear? Lukewarm water. What is that lukewarm water? No, so that way the participation was very much negligible. Eh? Lukewarm water? Who? First boy. Okay, next paragraph.
When the civil disobedience movement started, there was thus an atmosphere of suspicion and mistrust between communities. Alienated from the Congress, large sections of Muslims could not respond because for united struggle. Many Muslim leaders and intellectuals expressed their concern about the status of Muslims as a minority within India. They feared that the culture and identity of minority would be suffered under the domination of Hindu majority.
See, please do remember to go through that sources which are given. Okay, every lesson some parts are given as sources. You read it carefully and you try to understand the meaning of it. Based on that, questions can come. That is, source-based questions used to come. No? Have you seen that? So, mostly the sources it is coming. Otherwise, nowadays, last year and all from inside paragraph also the question used to come. Don't expect a direct questions. So, you have to understand it, which part it is mentioned or related to what. So, you cannot find out answer from that passage and write. That is not expected. No direct question. Clear?
Yes.
So don't think that okay, board exam, so passage make the answer etc. No. You have to understand which lesson it is mentioned, what is the context of that. Based on that, question. Okay. Now what we were discussing is that because of this kind of events, there was an alienation between the Congress and the Muslim League had taken place. Muslims began to move away from the Congress. And as a result of that, the intensity of the attitude towards the Hindus or Hindu attitude towards the Muslims were strained. And as a result of that, finally, it led to the partition of the country. Clear all those civil disobedience movement and how different sections participated and limitations or limits of that movement. Any part doubt is then only we will go to the final part. Yes, anything? Right? We are sitting with that. Nothing like that. Okay. Any doubt? You just go through this part at a glance, and then if any doubt is there, you ask. Then we will move further. Go through. Huh? Any doubt is there? No, not study process. Yes. No? So we will move further. In your first lesson, you have studied about some kind of things which united the people together. Such types of feelings united the people together. patriotism, allegory, okay. That is what allegory is little different from what I have asked. That is what we are going. So something united the people. Some kind of feeling united the people. That is called nationalism. The feeling towards the nation. That is based on the patriotic feeling. And how these are developed in India. How this sense of collective belonging have developed in India. See, when you observe small kids, when they are playing, and if you try to take the things from them, what they used to do is you take, they will get, they will try to take that all things with them only. That is what it is mine. That feeling is there. So this kind of collective feeling, that is sense of collective feeling, have taken place in India through several ways. So next question, you just write this question and I will tell you that each and everything. How? Notebook. How sense of collective belonging have developed in sense of collective belonging have developed
Can you repeat the question, please?
how sense of collective belonging have developed among the people of India. Among the people of India. Belonging. Okay. I'm just telling you that points. You just jot down the point. First one. It was partly through. Partly through. It was partly through. The experience of through the experience of united struggle. United struggles. United struggles. Second point. It was also through a variety of cultural experiences within the country. Within the country. These include next point. These include include history and fiction, history and fiction, folklore and songs, popular prints and popular print, PRINT, prints and symbols, helped in making nationalism see, earlier it used to come for 5 marks. All these things differently also can be asked together also. But now, according to the change to this thing, 1 4 mark is coming for passage, then 1 5 mark question only. It used to come from that first person or print person. So maximum 3 mark question only can be expected. We don't know. Till now they did not publish such a pattern. Okay. Yes. Next point. Next point. The identity of the nation is symbolized with the figures or images. Figures or images. That is what you told allegory. Figures or images. Images. The countries, this generally I will tell you about. So wherever it is coming, according to that you can use. See, the first part, how it is developed, visualized. So these 3 points you can write. So if it is asked about the symbols or images, the next part. See, just now I have told about the which point I have told you? Symbols and images. If the question is asked about the symbols and images, then further points you have to write. Understood? Mainly, I have told history and fiction, images and symbols. All those general points I have given in the previous points. Now, if the question is asked about how symbols united the nation, these points can be written. Clear? So, countries began to create image. Countries began to create image with which countries began to create image with which people can identify the nation. With which people can identify the nation. nation. The identity of India. Next one. No, continue. The identity of India came to be visually associated with Bharat Mata. Bharat Mata. The image was first created. Same only, this one, Bharat Mata. The image was first created by earlier, this name was Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, but now present day the books it is written Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. No, earlier history books Bankim Chandra Chatterjee was written. Now present book it is written Chattopadhyay. I am not sure that the Bengalis are changing that Chatterjee to Chattopadhyay or not. Okay. Now also to see Kolkata को कोलकाता कर दिया ना that means Chatterjee को Chattopadhyay को okay. So who created that first concept? Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay. And he wrote Vande Mataram in 1870s. 1870s. 1870. 1870s. And later included in his novel Anand Mat. This was the novel written by Bankim Chandra Chattopadhyay, and the song which he had written in 1870 was added to this one. Anand Mat. Then next point. Now next point. Yeah? Abanindranath Tagore. Abanindranath Tagore. Abanindranath Tagore. Have you seen? Painted. Abanindranath Tagore painted the first image of Bharat Mata. Who painted first image? He painted the first image of Bharat Mata. Abanindranath Tagore painted the first image. Are you writing?
Yes.
No. I need first image. According to his painting, we just write. According to his painting, this Abhinavanath Tagore's that sentence only. According to his painting, Bharat Mata is portrayed as Bharat Mata is portrayed as an ascetic portrayed as an ascetic What is ascetic? Sannyasi. Ascetic. She is calm. Bharat Mata concept, that is, was ascetic figure, calm, composed, and you just said she is calm, composed, divine and spiritual. Divine and spiritual. See, let us discuss this part. See, the first one, to get an image of the country, they used some kind of symbolic representation. We know that India has that kind of religious past. So, Vedic culture and all. So, they wanted to give that divine nature to this woman. You know that earlier time onwards, the worship of Mother Goddess was there. So all these aspects were added in the portrait. It is only an imagination. By and by, so many attributes are added to it. Have you noticed in your political science textbook that the third lesson, woman is portrayed with 10 hands? Have you seen? Your textbook is development. No, gender. So means all the things are to be done by a woman. The same way, the aesthetic portrait of this mother goddess or divine personality was added with so many attributes. Present, if you are seeing that Bharat Mata, what used to be there? She is draped in a sari with a three color or tricolor, that is flag color, and she used to carry that flag or that Vande Mataram used to be sung in the background. It is modern day. But when it was painted first, it was like that only one sannyasi figure, calm, composed, divine and all, spiritual person. But by and by, new features were added. So whenever we imagine the person, that is Bharat Mata, it is what coming in our mind. That attribute is added. But the first time when it was painted by Abhinavanath Tagore, this was the picture of what is Bharat Mata. Clear? Now the next important condition is next point you write. So you can take it as a third part. This one, what is that? From here onward, second part. Simple part. Simple is the second part. Simple is second part. Now third part. Ideas of nationalism. Ideas of nationalism. Third part. Ideas of nationalism.
Third question.
Nationalism also developed through the revival of folklore. Folklores. F-O-L. This here also it was there. Okay. Folklores. Nationalists began to collect and combine C-O-M-P-I-N-E. Combine. The folk songs sung by bards, S-U-N-G, sung by bards, B-A-R-D-S. Bards, groups of people. They are moving from one place to another. Bards in different regions. People, a group of people, they used to go from place to place singing and all. Understood? So it was not combined, it was not collected and all. Now the nationalists began to collect it, to preserve their culture. Okay. Yes, Rabindranath Tagore himself, viewpoint. Next. Rabindranath Tagore himself collected ballads, B-A-L-L-A-D-S, ballads, A-D-S, ballads. See, ballad is dance, drama, folk songs. Nursery rhymes and myths. Mythical. Next, in Madras, In Madras, Nadesh Shastri, next point. In Madras, Nadesh Shastri yes, yes, H will come that side, no? It is again that the name like that with the previous part we have studied. Published 4-volume collection of 4-volume collection of Tamil folk tales. Tamil folk tales. 4 volume. Okay. You just listen and write in between, please don't talk. Tamil confusion होता है. Tamil folk tales. Okay, that 4 volume together, that monthly volume got a name. That is the folklore of southern India. 4 volume of Tamil folklore. Its name is the folklore of southern India. Folklore of southern India. Folklore of southern India. See, for 1 mark question also, this way it can be asked. What was the name of that volume? That is folklore of southern India. Okay.
When will this answer get over?
Good question. Tomorrow. Next, 4th point. Okay. This is next. We have started with the general what all of the ways collective identity was created. Next part we have discussed about the symbols, and the third part we have discussed about the folklores. And now next part is about the national flag. Okay. The national movement developed through icons and symbols. Icons, national movement developed through icons and symbols. In unifying people Inspiring them, inspiring them with a feeling of nationalism. With a feeling of nationalism. During the Swadeshi movement,
Next point.
in this part, second line, during Swadeshi movement, a tricolor flag, red, green and yellow. Red, green and yellow was designed. Yellow. This is what the Swadeshi period. So that the partition of Bengal, so that time a flag was designed that was having three colors. Which were the colors? Red, green and yellow. That flag was called Swadeshi flag. Clear? So the first flag was Swadeshi flag. Next. Note that it had 8 lotuses. It had 8 lotuses representing 8 provinces and 8 provinces and a crescent moon. This one represents Hindus and Muslims. That is what a crescent moon. Now next, 1921. 1921. Gandhiji designed Swaraj flag. Gandhiji designed Swaraj flag with red, green and white color. Red, green and white color. With a spinning wheel in the center. With a spinning wheel in the center. Represent Gandhian ideal of self-help. Represent Gandhian ideals of self-help. Now, after that, we know that presently we are having a tricolor flag. Present tricolor flag. What are the colors of that present? Okay. Present tricolor. What is the first color? Orange. Orange. White. Middle. Ashoka. That is. So each one you have to understand it is having different meanings. But that first one, saffron, sacrifice. White color. Then green color, dark green. prosperity. Okay. Then that wheel in the center. From movement. Wheel or signifies movement. And then 24 spots. That is, it is having two meanings. One is that time, with the passage of time. So we move forward. That was okay. This was adopted on July 22nd, 1947. The third one. You just write it. It is not in the textbook. The present tricolor flag. Present tricolor flag was adopted on 22nd July 1947. See, we got independence in the month of August. Just before that, getting freedom, we adopted that present flag. Clear? So, through stages of progress or the stages, we have developed the present day flag. That also created unity in the minds of the people. We know that. Can you tell when is the present flag adopted? 22nd July 1947. So please run down. Okay, we want to complete it. Already time passed. Okay, so different things which united the people and helped to evolve unity in the minds of the people. So that we have studied. And the last part is reinterpretation of history. I am not telling you to write that part in the sense. Reinterpretation of history. We know that the history from the very beginning have so much things to study. Interpreted in a different way during the British period. We studied our history into three periods: ancient, medieval, and modern. Have you studied heard at least? So, ancient period, most of the things were contributed under the Hindu rulers. So, Hindu rulers ruled India, and many contributions were there. You know that Aryabhata's contribution, so many contribution, cultural contribution, religious contribution, and all. Everything was there in the Hindu period. When we come to that middle period, we can see that it was ruled by, or India was ruled by Muslim rulers, Mughals and all. You know that during the Mughal period, we have so much architectural and other contributions. Yes. So, Mughals also contributed so much things to us. And then comes the modern period. We studied like that. But that British divided history into ancient, medieval, and the British period, European period. And the contribution was of just speaking for 5 minutes. Please run back just 5 minutes. They want to find out. The British only contributed most of the things for Indians. That was the interpretation of the British. But now, the Indian historians began to reinterpret the history that Indians had a great contribution. That is what reinterpretation of history. And when we see most of the contributions or most of the things which we have evolved, majority of the things are taken from Hindu idols or images. That we have studied Bharat Mata, or many of the things which we see present today are taken from Hindus. So the Muslims began to feel that everything, the new concepts are taken from Hinduism. That is why that unity which we have developed during the nationalist period undermined it. Means we have worked together to achieve the independence, but still we could not achieve that same glory. That is working together and achieving that independence. That one we could not achieve. Okay. So I think you understood. There was a time limit, still could complete. Now, little bit I want to tell, that is when you are writing question answers. That is 2 more questions. Not just write the words. You have to write in a sentence, minimum 30 words is required. For 30 word, that is what instruction. Board instruction is there, 30 word is required for 2 mark question. So like that word limits are there, you are just writing that word, that is not enough. When you are writing the answer, 5 mark question, 5 points to be explained. If you are just writing in lines, then only the points you will not get that. You have to explain. Each point explain.
Yes.
Okay? Okay, all the
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, bye.